Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mars coming at you over the interwaves with another StarCraft 2 cast between... It's got... It's this guy. And it's iZerg, or iZerg, depending on who you are talking to. Gorthauer. The Protoss making a joke about it, but the Zerg not really getting into things. Anyway, this replay was sent in by members of the community. If you'd like to have your own replays cast, upload the replay to GG Tracker, SC2 drop.sc2, sorry, or Spawning Tool, and provide a link to castit.reddit.com, and a member of the community will get right on it. If you'd like to have me personally do it, send an email to marsgaming@gmail.com and I will get right to it. One of these people did actually do that. What are you doing? And instead of that, sent me a PM over Reddit where I am Marsh. So, you know, that's very hard. I'm Marsh on Twitter, I'm Marsh at Reddit, and I'm Marsh Gaming at YouTube. And we have a little bit of a one base play over... No, it's just a slow expand for iZerg. Alright, I thought there might be something weird coming on, but he just wanted to make sure he could take this base without getting harassed. Alright, instead, what is Gorthauer doing? Gorthauer is building the Great Wall of New Gettysburg. This is not an unusual... I think there's a hole right here. Yeah, looks like it. This is not an unusual way to expand for a Protoss player, although it was more common in days past with a Forge, and these days not so weird on the other hand. And this probe is going to get back just before anything to kill these Zerglings does actually come out here. Now there are two very nicely mineral walk through there with just 2 hit points remaining, so that is nicely done by Gorthauer. Alright, so he's got oh, excuse me, he's got his wall, and now he has to expand. Or that is at least generally what people do who build the wall over here, because this wall is quite a bit harder to make than this wall, and considering the flight distance and these guys, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to build that wall here to hide the fact that you're doing a one base play. Alright, in response, we've got iZerg putting down that Roach Warren because he doesn't trust his opponent, and there goes that natural expansion. So we've got a late natural expansion by both players, and it may be entirely possible that Gorthauer did want to build that wall quite a bit more solid than he would have otherwise if it wasn't for that very late expansion over here. And there's a flying crawler in full expectation of what this guy saw coming over right there. And these 2 adepts do actually kill the Zerglings that were working on this wall, but bought enough time for iZerg to get... Is he going to finish that shade? No, he's not. He's going to go to the natural middle line, and he loses one drone only. He tried to shade in again, and this time he does let it complete. Gets 2, 3. We get 4. He does get 6 workers in total. That is 1 over here, 4 over here. And a scouting one. Nope. Doesn't get a 7th one. 6 workers for Zealot and 2 adepts. That's not horrible. Not entirely sure what he was planning on doing here. Maybe he's just going to defend this pylon. But iZerg doesn't send Zerglings which he can shoot. No, instead he chooses to send Roaches who have a ranged attack and therefore stay out of range of those adepts. Robotics Bay going down. Alright, so might as well talk about this map for a little bit. It was a little bit of funny opening by my side, as iZerg does move for that layer. Well, I suppose we should talk about this. This is fairly special. There's not any map, I want to say, with a singular pathway quite that narrow and quite that long in the combined rest of the map pool of StarCraft 2. And we have these things which make sure that the air pathways are not as straightforward as you might think. And this makes for some interesting matches. We've seen some sneaky bases being taken over here. We've seen many bases being denied over here. We've got a gold base right here. And yeah, interesting map. Gorthauer moving out once again with the Adepts. And we have a Nidus worm being built by iZerg. Oh, as we have a little bit of a passing in the night sort of thing going on right here. And wait. We don't have Zergling speed. No, going straight for Glial Reconstitution. Going for that roach speed and only that roach speed. Does not expect to build any additional Zerglings. Building instead Hydralisks and Roaches and preparing for a little bit of an aggression here. Did catch that warp out of that war prison. And oh, this is a very old trick indeed, and it doesn't work. Trying to get those sentries in place as these guys moving to kill absolutely zero drones whatsoever. Trying to get those sentry in place to get that force field right here, cutting off your opponent from either this base or this base. Then you move the war prism this way or this way, depending on where the army isn't. And you warp in an entire army, which then proceeds to massacre the base, as illustrated by this. So there are 4 sentries right here. Oh, and he doesn't get the proper force field off. iZerg doesn't move in quite in time, so that doesn't mean that he doesn't get to move in, despite the fact he was given room to do so. And now those sentries, are they going to be able to block that off again? No, they aren't, and that is the end of this attack. Is this the end of the war prism? Yes, it is. And how much did that cost him? Well, another 5 workers, and a scout of the Nidus worm. And now I suppose it is quite interesting to see, are we going to... No, we know this is happening. We know this is happening. Well, he does now, as all of this is already completely out of that Nidus worm. There is... yeah, there is a mothership core there, but he can't really... he can overcharge. That is a useful thing to overcharge, but there's only one thing, and that is quite an army to... no, he moves into a second pylon for overcharging, but there's just too much of the Zerg right there, and this main base is pretty much forfeit. There go both your upgrades, in case you were planning any. There go 4 of your warpings, although there are still a number over here. And yeah, even warping in an overseas just in case your opponent has a DT shrine somewhere, because those are very good at cleaning up things that don't have detection. Say goodbye to your main base, say goodbye to your robotics bay, Gorthauer. This is going to be a tricky hold indeed. Now he does have his 3rd base up, so he can evacuate his drones, and he does do so, but yeah. Anything being built right now. Oh, he did get 2 disruptors out before that base fell, so that is very nice. Even spreading creep in here is iZerg, and oh, there's a still to be. No! God. Oh, well, yeah, as a Protoss player, I love disruptors, but man, I can certainly understand people being very pissed off with them. You may want to kill that. No, he doesn't. Well, he does clean this up pretty much in its entirety. Now iZerg is... Oh no, he comes back out, does kill that one disruptor. Probably worth it. I don't know. We'll see. And if Zerg was macroing properly behind this, he should now have an army all the way on the other side, but he didn't, choosing instead to round out his economy into nicely 3 bases. And he's got some good creep spread, so he sees whatever is coming his way. He's gooping up this base so his opponent can't sneakily take it. Yeah, I'd say this is a fairly decent position for the Zerg. Now actually does get that metabolic boost. Yeah, nice attack right there. And yeah, these... no, they do now get taken care of. But yeah, I don't know if he wants to retake that base. Oh, what is this guy doing to do over here? As iZerg is moving in on 2 different attack vectors. Well, that's hardly an attack though, is it? No. So we've got a big group of Zerglings over here ready to run by. And they're going to get absolutely nowhere because I think if you come in here, you're going to have to... Plenty of time for overcharges, but I don't believe he remade that mothership core, so that's not as scary as it looks. This is going to take a long while to go around, and it allows Gorthauer to warp in, but no overcharges will do that. And he's got 5 lurkers right there, but his opponent has 2 observers and very poor disruptor that full control. Fortunately for iZerg, sending in those roaches outside of the range of the lurker, not a fantastic plan, as he just absolutely melts. And now he pulls back in the range of these 4 things, moves in with this Zergling run by, and yes, his opponent, oh, that was a, oh man, that was some disruptor ball explosion right there, as the Zerglings do get cleaned up by these warped-in adepts. And yep, that's pretty much most of what iZerg had on this opponent's side of the map. If you hear me coughing, if you hear me, struggling, I am sick. That is why I'm home recording this rather than being at work doing something useful. And it might also mean that I'm going to only do 1 or 2 of these because it just may just break. Alright, 1-1 for the Zerg, and the Protoss rebuilt his forges, so that's good. And there is another Nidus Worm in that main base. Now there's not a lot of things to kill right there, but you can make a very nice beaches over there. This time Gorthauer does see it well in time as he sends his disruptor balls out. Yep, that's one way to take care of it. Nicely caught, nicely reacted as well. Doesn't want to lose his entire base again. And taking a 4th base over here. iZerg in the meantime is getting this over here. In the meantime, the Protoss army is getting to be quite scary. And this little Zergling run by is not going to get a lot done, as the army is too close and the overcharge too quick. So yeah, the fact that there's been as much aggression as there has been, and the Protoss is ahead. I'm not going to set up for that. Makes me feel like I quite like Gorthauer's position, like 123 army supply versus 88. And if you look at the army supply, it's like it's got Hydralisk, okay, those are okay. And Zerglings, those are really good in big numbers, but in 36 of them, not so much. What does his opponent have? Lots of adepts, which are good versus light units, of which the entire ground army of iZerg is consistent. 4 Immortals and 9 Disruptors, and I feel he can just type this army for days, and this may very well be the answer to his problems of iZerg. It is Broodlord. Broodlord can be very good against this army, because what shoots up exactly? I'll give you another little bit of time to consider that. What shoots up in the army of the Protoss? Is it the Immortals? But it is not. Is it the Adepts? Nope, Adepts don't shoot up either. Disruptors don't shoot up. Mothership cores don't shoot up. Stalkers. Stalkers shoot up. And there is a grand total of 1 Stalker. Now, what, on the other hand, it could happen for Gorthauer right here. He could just move in and ignore these because there's not a lot of these brute lords. That is a very nice round, and those Zerglings make sure that that army does stay in place so those brute lords can get to work and not actually bypass the army. And there comes that one stalker trying to make a difference, and that's not going to be enough. And sure, he's got nothing that shoots up, but in the meantime, he can just kill that base and no, doesn't get the recall out. He is going to lose most of this army. And yeah, what is he going to replace it with? Well, he's putting up 4 Stargates. Maybe he's going to get some blink. No, he doesn't have blink. He's just going to get 9 normal stalkers. And that should give him a fairly decent defense against this. But if these brute lords get siege up here, and this is a fantastic spot if you don't end up like that, poor Zerg, for a brute lord siege up. And yeah, there's really nothing much Protoss can do against this. In the meantime, sending the other bit of the army, which the Protoss can actually deal with, over here. And oh, that is not the place you want to warp in lurkers and or brood lords. All of those are going to get taken out. But in the meantime, these Zerglings with adrenal glands, I might add, will take care of that base. Nope, nope, nope. He does move back to get adrenal glands, right? Yeah, I didn't imagine that. No melee upgrades, though. So that is something that is missing. In the meantime, we had a couple of Zerglings in there as well, and they may have taken out an entire mineral line, and I missed it because I'm not the greatest observer in the universe. I do apologize. Something I'm still learning, and you can watch me learn and enjoy with me. Alright, that is once again the army of the Zerg cleaned up, but also the army of the Protoss is severely diminished, and now going to be built back up around all of these stalkers and Tempests. If he has enough time to reach Tempest, then I feel quite good for the Protoss. As I'm going to drink some water again. There's a little bit of a Zerg run by here, but Gorthauer comes in to check and blinks in, and they're not going to get much done. Nope. Not right-clicking on a number of... They do last a fairly long time, even getting a stalker, I believe. Now we have the move out with the Brood Lord, but there's nothing underneath them. There's nothing underneath these guys. Well, there are 4 idolists, and oh, well, what are you doing? What are you doing? Broodlings, just A move. You just want A move, and this is not going to end well. This is not going to end well for iZerg. That was a very, very expensive engagement, and these couple of Zerglings are not going to get enough done to really help that, and that really, really does give Gorthauer a very good position, and that gave him all the time he needed to start building from the Stargates that were destroyed. So I guess not. But yeah, with the Brute Lord count completely set back to 0, he doesn't need them anymore. And yeah, iZerg doesn't really have the minerals to build them again. He doesn't even have any corruptors at the moment. Oh, we have another run by right here, and oh, those were the Stargates. I was thinking they were over here for a second, but that's because I'm silly. This base not having been retaken, and these Zerglings do get the best of the defending Zealots, and now we have the main army of the Protoss moving in over here, and getting surrounded by Zerglings is still very detrimental to the health of the Stalkers, but he does blink back a couple of times, and now there's no stopping the Protoss. GG. If you enjoyed this video, press that like button. If you'd like to see more of me, subscribe.